Karen in the craft room. I'm going to avoid the snowy May day outside and do a little bit of fun crafting in. It's always nice to make some really nice decor very inexpensively. We're going to use items from the dollar store today. I found these great little tag signs. You see the top is kind of like a tag at Dollar Tree for just $1.25 each. So I bought 2 of those. We're going to put them together and make a really classy farmhouse sign. When you go to the stores to buy these things, they're so expensive, and we can do it so inexpensively and say we made it. So we're going to start off with these. I've already cut the string and tags off of them. They're going to go together like this. So this side has some sparkles on it and some color, like a little bit of a sheen film on it. So I'm not going to bother with sanding down and repainting that. I'm going to use the clean side of these tags. So I'm going to put my clean side down like this and put my seams together. Now, for the rest of the items that you need for this craft is some large either sticker letters, nice big ones. These are silver. I would do it in black, but whatever you prefer. And I just created a stencil on my silhouette that I'm going to use and then paint the letters on, but you certainly can skip that whole step and use stickers in it. That will look great too. Need some white paint and some black paint and your glue gun, and just like two or three popsicle sticks will work as well. These are a bit bigger than normal. So we've put our bottom edges together nice and neat, and I'm going to take my glue gun and just, we need some more glue in this glue gun, and I'm going to just lay it across the seam of the bottoms to hold them together. Easy, easy. And another one. Easy, easy. We can do a few more if you want to, but that's just going to work for now. So, now that it's together, it looks like this. So we're going to use our nice clean side as one banner. I'm going to start off by painting it white. So I'm going to find my white paint here. Again, dollar store paint works fantastic every time. Okay, and I'm just going to brush on my paint. Get a nice full coverage on it. You may need more than one coat, just depending on how the brown comes, the woodish brown comes back. Like I said, I love finding these little things at the dollar store that we can upcycle, so to say, because certainly buying this wood and cutting it to this shape is going to be a lot more than $1.25. So here we go. You can see, looks much nicer as the white. Everybody's keeping safe and healthy right now and keeping busy. This weather is just crazy to have so much snow coming and going in May, mid-May almost. So I'm very thankful to be able to play in my craft room and share some ideas with you. Now this may require 2 coats. I'm thinking I probably will, just to make it look a little nicer. So I'm gonna, if you want to quicken up what you're doing, you can use either a hair dryer or a heat gun to dry your paint in between. Hair dryer, be careful you don't blow all your supplies away. And heat gun, just be careful that you don't get too close because things will bubble up. So we're going to just dry this up a bit. lots of fun words you can make with this. I'm doing farmhouse. Another cute one would be mercantile. A laundry sign for your laundry room. Something out in your screen and porch or on your deck. Also very cute. Okay. Probably close to good enough to get a second coat on that. So let's get that going. And if you don't have a popsicle stick for the back, you could also use a paint stir stick. That would also work. Or even just adhering it with some tape, heavy duct tape. That would also probably work, but just something to hold that seam together. Coming along very nicely here. Like I said, this craft is very easy to do, especially if you already have the sticker letters. Get some nice big ones. So many great things out there. It's hard to keep up with them all. I want to do everything. So I might just need a little bit more here. Getting low on my paint. I especially need this to be dry because my stencil is a sticky one. So I'm going to stick it on and then take it off. Sometimes when you use the stencils, you do need to fix up your letters a bit. The edges sometimes get a little blurred. So let's get this drying, shall we? Quite decided where I'm going to put this sign. It would be really nice above a kitchen window. That's kind of where I envisioned this. But the more I seem to make, I think the more my husband just wants me to sell them. We're running out of room here. Few wet spots still. Together. I'm so sorry for the wait on drying, but I do like to show you all the steps. I always like to touch it and find a few spots. Not always the best idea. I did find that spot. And if you look kind of on an angle, you can see it a little bit glaring in those wet areas. Another one, there we go. Sometimes if you get the heat gun too close, it does bubble the paint up, so you need to be really careful with that. And I think we're pretty good here. At least enough that we can move on to the next step. So there we go. We have this beautiful white sign ready for words. Now, you can either do your words first or your edging first. My edges are still a little bit wet, so I think I'm going to do my letters first, and then we can go from there. So I am using a sticker stencil. I create these with my Silhouette machine. You may have a Cameo at home. I find that the vinyl you purchase is quite expensive. I like to use it if you're actually leaving the vinyl on something. But if you're using it as a stencil, it's like a one-time use. So I just buy the white shelf paper from dollar store, Walmart, wherever, the contact sticky shelf paper, and that's what I use for my stencil. And to put it on, Of course, I need a transfer paper, which, again, I just use the clear contact paper, shelf paper from your local hardware store or dollar store even. And these are much more inexpensive way to do them. If you're new to your Silhouette or Cameo machine, your contact paper can be used more than once. I hang on to mine until they're not very sticky anymore. And so therefore I get a lot of use out of them. I was able to score a huge roll of it at Home Hardware in a town just about 45 minutes away. I was hoping they would have the white also, but they didn't. So I'm pressing this contact paper down on my stencil. I believe you can buy the sticky stencils also online. I've never done it, so I'm not really sure what to tell you for that. Now, so I have this sticky paper on my sticker. Now I'm going to take the backing off my farmhouse sticker very carefully. Sometimes the middle letters will want to pop up, and this is a little bit like waxing. We don't want to just go up. We want to go across like this. Let's be kind to our stencils. So we're going to go like this. If it starts to come up, it needs to be pressed more on the contact paper. You can go back, rub it on some more, and then try to pull off again. Sometimes I'll hold it down with my fingers or a straight edge. So there we go. So now I have my farmhouse stencil all ready to go. So the middle of my stencil is going to be the H, obviously, and because we stuck these two tags together, I know where the center is. So I'm just going to, you may want to measure from the bottom how you want to put it. I'm going to put the H right in the middle and looking fairly centered here. I'm going to use just lightly put it down. I have a silhouette edge here that works great. Also, credit card works fantastic. Hotel key card, whatever you have, nice straight edge, and then just press it all down, making sure that you get those center pieces. And then I'm going to pull this back. Like I said, it's like the waxing, and we have to be careful. So I'm pulling the clear transfer paper off, not straight up like this, because that's not. We're going to go this way. And the flatter I am, the better chance of those letters staying on. So that's going to be great. It stuck fantastic. There we go. And I'm going to save my clear transfer paper for another project later. I can cut it smaller for a smaller one if I need to. I do have a couple bubbles here in my stencil. If they're along the edge, I know it's hard to see white on white. If they're near the edge, it's not so bad, but if it's near your letters, you're definitely going to want to press them down. And you probably should press this down before you paint anyways. Like I said, I might not get a clean edge with this vinyl paper every time, but it's so much more inexpensive. So I actually you can use a small brush or a little dabber. I like the dabber, and I'm going to find some black paint. Just dollar store black paint, and this will work great for what I'm going to do. So if you're using a little dabber, some paper towel would be good, and I'm just going to actually just put it right there so I have it. You're going to put the paint on your dabber, but I don't want it that full, because if you load it up, you're going to leak through the edges of your. So you can see here, I'm just very lightly dabbing my letters. Now, if you're using stickers, you might want to start with your H in the center and go one way and then the other, just so it's kind of centered for you. Whatever you think will work best for you. And very lightly dabbing so we don't bleed through the edges. And this takes a little bit of time, but Same with the stencil. You can also, if you don't have a stencil and you don't have stickers, you can print these letters out on your printer. And then on the back side of the page, rub some chalk. Just rub, like on the flat side, rub some chalk so you have chalk all over the back. And then put it down on your sign and trace over the letters. And then the chalk will be an outline for the letters. And you would just have to paint inside the letters with your brush. So that would probably take a little bit longer, but also will look fantastic. So lots of options for those of you who don't have a craft machine like myself. I'm very lucky to have. So just lots of dabbing up and down, going through my letters here. I'd love to hear from you. I've had a few people reach out with messages after my videos, but please feel free to follow me. I do some crazy things here and there. But also to send me some ideas of what you would like to see. Trying to keep a variety. I'm trying to keep things inexpensive and things that you may have around the house, but as it is, things are going to be opening up more. We may have access to more. So please let me know what you're interested in seeing being done, and I'm happy to do, and I'm always looking for craft things to do. And if you aren't up for making any of the things that I've done, please feel free to contact me to purchase items. Because like I said, my husband doesn't want me to keep everything. So, or I can also customize some items for you to make it personal with your name or anything that you choose. So feel free to reach out at any time and let me know if you are interested in anything or some new craft projects that you're just not sure how to tackle. So we're moving right along here. And I'm not sure. Hopefully we're not bleeding through, because that makes it so much easier. And then having, if it does though, you're just going to take a very small brush and clean up the lines. As I've always said in my craft classes, there's nothing that we can't fix. So don't be afraid to try. And if you've ever done something and you're not sure of a step or how to fix it, reach out. I'm here in the craft room. So I'm almost done these letters. I apologize for the wait. Maybe you are doing yours at the same time. And I'm really hoping for some warmer weather. This is absolutely ridiculous. This morning I woke up and my husband said to me, "What's wrong? You look like you are in the wrong house. Your face says you're in the wrong house or something." I said, "Well, I'm thinking I am because there's snow outside." Mother Nature sure is giving us a run for our money. So these are great little signs too. You could do this for a bedroom with a child's name on it. You could do things like Home Sweet Home. Like I said before, laundry would be cute. I just need a little bit more paint here. You can take your stencil off when it's wet. It may smudge a bit. I'm a little hesitant to use the heat gun with this. The hairdryer probably wouldn't be too bad, but the heat gun could adhere the vinyl stencil a little bit more to my board than what I want it to be. So this is not looking too bad. Probably looks a little messy for you on your side, but once we take it off, it'll definitely be neatened up. So I'm just going to start pulling off my vinyl stencil. This is the exciting part. Sometimes it does rip. That's all right. It's just gonna go in the garbage after. Now, I happen to have a little hook from my silhouette machine that helps me pull off these little bits. A pair of tweezers would also help to start the pulling process, or if you've got some lovely nails, I'm sure that would be great too. So I'm just taking off all these little bits, like the inside of the A. And I think we're looking pretty good here. I don't think we bled through too much, although I'm not done yet, so I really shouldn't speak too soon. You can see how it's turning out. I know that's upside down for you. I have trouble working upside down on my craft, so I'm gonna keep it towards me as long as I can. Oh, a little fix will need to happen there. And H. Okay, be careful, because if you have paint on your fingers as you're pulling these up, you could get paint on your board. I go to the inside of the U. There we go. And this is really my favorite part, is pulling the stencil off and seeing how it turned out. Sometimes when you're painting on a rougher surface, it's not always a clean, but it's a good starter. I did a project for a friend who needed a birthday gift for her husband, and it was on a rock, so I did need to do a lot of hand painting on that. We're actually not too bad on this one. So you can see here we have farmhouse. So I will probably touch up the H and the O a little bit later, just with a fine brush. So there we go. There's our farmhouse sign. Now I think we can make it look a little bit better. So we're going to take a small brush, and actually I think so it's not too small, not too big. I'm going to use my black paint. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of black paint on this and wipe some off on a paper towel. Take your time doing this. If you mess up, we can go back with some white paint. It's not a big deal. Be careful putting your hand on your project, on your letters. Like I said, we could have done this before we did the letters. I just did it after because my edges were still a bit wet. So I'm just going to go along the edge a little bit. So you can see right there, and it's certainly not neat. Some spots are faded more. I'm just going back to my paper towel, just put a little bit more on. Some are darker, some are faded, and I'm just using my brush like this on an angle and going around the edge. So it's highlighting itself. You can see right there. So it looks a little bit more like one of those signs you would see in the store. Take it on an angle, go across the top. I'm not adding any more to my brush yet. Go across the top here. And I can see I probably need just a little bit more paint. A little bit of paint, dab it off. We don't want any big globs. Very lightly on your with your brush angled. And I'm going to do the other side here. And I'm actually going to flip my sign now because it's easier for me to work that way. I'm right-handed, so that's the way I'm going to work. And on an angle, going around the edge of the sign. You can see right here on the edge. And because my brush is actually partially going off of the wood, so it's just getting that angled a little bit. And there we go. Now you may want to highlight the little dots from the string that was there. That's entirely up to you. But there we go. There's our beautiful farmhouse sign. Maybe for, you could do a pool house sign like this too. Something for outside, inside. I think this one might make it above my kitchen sink window. It's certainly cute and very simple, but wonderful. So another inexpensive craft for you to do, dollar store items, keeping it simple. Stay safe, everyone, and have some fun crafting.